So the nights are cool and the mornings are nice and crisp, and it's 11 days away, but I am very excited for fall. And also I'm excited to work on my lunch break roguelike project. So hey, I'm Joshua, and this is what I call my lunch break roguelike project. I guess uh, 50 some odd days ago, more than that probably, 60 some odd days ago, I decided to try to work on a project over my lunch hour to see how far I could get in that short a period of time. And it turns out you can do quite a bit, actually. So here we are, and we have a Twitch playable roguelike that at the top here, a couple of the viewers in chat were playing, which is pretty darn cool. It's an open source project. Let me see. You can find it on github.com/Joshua Skelly/lunch-break-rl. Let me flip over to a screen so you can see that if you want to grab the URL. It's not a strict tutorial series. It is just me working on a thing for fun, interacting with the players, and just making a little roguelike using Python and TDL. It also uses the Twitch Chatman or the Twitch Observer API, which I wrote in conjunction with a viewer, Felix. All right, where to start? Hey everybody, thank you for popping in. Yeah, Tyreek, I agree. You were playing very well there. You were making good use of the battle axe. You were throwing stuff. You were using the verbs, I think, fairly wisely, and I was pretty excited to see that. It's always nice to see when players pick up on that stuff. My face is too zoomed in. It's probably because I'm probably just leaning forward too much. Sorry about that. I get really excited, and yeah, I start like really creeping up on my microphone. I don't know if that probably makes things worse too. But yeah, this is roguelike lunch break roguelike, one of those things. Let's figure out some stuff to work on. So I know there's been some issues with so every enemy is running a state machine in their brain, and the brain is having some issues with the hooks for threats being basically spotted and lost, and it might take some time to clean that up. That might be a thing to do. Last time we worked on the intermission screen, so there should be a new, when all the players exit, it should say level 1 or whatnot. It should do that. I think it did that. I can't remember. Can I force them to go to the next level? Yeah, there we go. So level 2. I think Usano Loco got kicked for being AFK. But yeah, let's yeah, if you folks want to play a little bit, we can talk about some things I should work on today. Because I want to say, yeah, it's running from the command console. Like a launch PyCharm while we're thinking. Yeah, I don't know how far I'm going to be taking the project. I'd like to take it far enough to where it's like a little self-contained thing that people can play without me having to do much on it. But I would like to start a new lunch break project soon. Um, and I might just I think maybe I'll stop. I don't know. I need to figure out some point to stop working on this project, and maybe just open it up to the community for contributions. Because I'd like to slowly build a channel of Twitch Plays stuff. So I think maybe my next thing too would also be another Twitch Plays thing. I thought it'd be cool to have like a some block of time throughout the week where we can come and just play a bunch of these Twitch enabled games. I thought that might be a fun thing to do with my channel. Maybe like a I don't know, like a Saturday morning cartoons or like a something themed like that, or like when I was a kid, MTV had this cool thing called Liquid Television, which were these adult cartoons late at night, which were really weird, and I loved them. I don't know, I'm trying to think of something to kind of do in that scenario. Uh-oh. Does Dr. Kegel need cheered on? Gusano, I guess Gusano must have left already. Oh, I guess Dr. Kegel's not going for it. Nope, he's going. Oh, he got. Oh no, the kobolds. Yeah. That's too bad. That's all right. No harm done though. I think the shortcut for attack is AT. So you can do MV and AT are the shortcuts for move and attack. Will I start a new game project? I think so, Evram. That's the thought, is to have another Twitch playable game, but it can be a different style of game probably. I should put the aliases in the help maybe, because I think the help just gives out the full. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to keep the help as short and concise as possible. Yeah, cool. So Gusano says he's looking forward to a community-developed game. Yeah. So, yeah, maybe I need to figure out an actual, um, like plan for the how to get to the end of this, and then open it up to the community. Um, oh yeah. So Tyreek says, "Why is the line of sight so open?" Because I'm running it on my. I have a command parameter. I have a command line parameter called debug, and when you run it with debug, it includes all of the monster vision in the player vision too. So if I were to run it, let's say without the debug flag, then it will only show player vision, which is it's way more challenging because you never know what you're getting into. There we go. Definitely a little bit more, I guess, more challenging, I suppose. Yeah. So. Hey, Blue Video Game. I haven't seen you around before. Thanks for joining the chat and playing along. Yeah, no, Tyreek, that's a perfectly good question to ask. Yeah, the debug command or the debug flag allows some other things too. Like when the debug command is on, you can cheat and just type in the stairs command, and it will just path you to the exit, which is helpful for debugging stuff, but not necessarily great for gameplay. Yeah, how about I commit to this week is the last week of lunch break roguelike? And maybe try to get that system where we have the randomized enemy attributes. So we'd have like hyper narcoleptic kobolds and like rats or something. Like we're trying to work towards that. Maybe I can get that done this week, and then after that, we'll start a new project. Evram says, "How is the vision implemented?" So the vision just uses the TDL API for quick FOV. And the quick FOV just takes a callback. Basically, it gives you an XY coord, and you return if you can see through that or not, and it does all the rest for me. So for every entity in the game, I calculate what they can see, and for the players, that's what part of the map I reveal. For the enemies, I use the squares they can see as basically to determine what actions they can take, right? Because if they can't see you, they shouldn't attack you. Oh no, Blue Video Game, you perished. So sad. Yeah, visible tiles. Yeah, so basically, I treat the visible tiles as a set that I smash together from all the players' data. Yeah, so it's just a loop where I loop through all the players, I grab the visible tiles they can see, and I smash them together in a set, and that's what gets applied to the map. Blue video game. You can attack by bumping into things, by moving into them, or you can use the attack command, AT, and a direction. Also, that purple potion there beneath that kobold is a blinding potion, which will reduce your visibility to 0 for a time being. It's fun to throw at the kobolds to blind them. Because right now when they're blind, they just kind of stop doing things because the AI doesn't really know how to handle it, which I guess is fine. So yeah, so blue video games, the greater than symbol to your right is the exit, which you have to get to in about 16 turns, so you might want to hustle. You can also move to somebody's position by saying MV, or using the move space at their name, and that'll move to a player. Yeah, Evram. So here in Roguelike Lunch Break, the enemies will. So the enemy brain, if it has no actions, will just plot a few random wander actions. But if it can spot a player, it will clear out all of its pending actions, and it will path to the player. And that, because of their context-sensitive bump action, will attack if you're in the correct spot. Yeah, so they do have like an idle state and an aggro state. The kobolds have 4 states. They have an idle state, an aggro state. They have a hurt aggro state and a hurt idle state. So basically it turns into like a flee and a hurt wandered state. And blue video games, you can use like AT like this to do multiple attacks down. Because on moves, you will only do one attack. But if you use attack multiple directions, you can queue those attacks up, which is more effective when fighting enemies. Yeah, and kobolds like to eat corpses to regain their health, so be mindful of that. But kobolds will not fight to the death, so once they're sufficiently hurt, they will run away. Oh no! Oh no, Tyreek! You got stabbed by a kobold. Yeah, dagger fights can get nasty. Yeah, something. A lot of stuff is dying out in the darkness. The brown X's, they're dirt tiles. When you get a pickaxe, you can tunnel outside of the level, and it's just dirt. Basically, it's the same thing as a wall. Adam says, "I wish there was an external view to play this." What do you mean? And wow, there are a lot of dead bodies next to Gasano. Yeah, if they were a proper entity, they would be listed over in the entities section. Yeah, I mean, the problem with that, Evram, is I'd rather keep these apps on Twitch because Twitch has like millions of users, and as soon as they require people to go to a special website, they just won't. So I'm trying to build like native Twitch experiences, and maybe so Twitch just recently announced and published the extensions API, which allows me to create basically an input layer on top of the video player itself. Which is pretty exciting. I'd like to play around with that. Yeah, it's just JS, CSS, and HTML. So I could basically open a socket connection back to whatever I want to talk to and capture clicks and stuff, which I think would be rad. Yeah, you got to be, hey, blue video games, be careful. Rats like to lay babies and corpses. So all those corpses you're down by might explode into rat babies here in a second. Yeah, the rat apocalypse can happen. It's a beautiful thing, especially when they start turning into rat kings and start killing everything in the map. So hey Tyreek, you said you might steal the whole rat thing. Did you ever get around to implementing something like that in Catacomb Kids? Kind of like that. I don't know. Like so for me, for the rats, like if you get enough rats in an area and they know they can deal enough damage to kill you, they will all aggro at once. So rats will run from you until they know they can kill an entity, which they will all aggro each other and pounce on the entity and kill it. I'm not sure how cats work. Cool, man. I am really excited to see it. I'm glad I could inspire you. Yeah, the rats are gonna rip those kobolds apart. Yeah, yeah. And that poor kobold ate a corpse, which is highly likely to have rat babies inside the corpse inside that kobold's belly. So that kobold might start looking ill here in a little bit. Yeah, the rat apocalypse is definitely happening. Uh-oh. Gusano, you need to run. The rats think they can take you. Yeah, Gusano, they're definitely going to well, you got a Rat King now too, man. You are in bad shape. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So rats lay babies inside of corpses, which sit in the corpse and take a while to gestate, and then they will explode out of the corpse. If something happens to eat that corpse, the babies will get transferred into the entity that ate that corpse. It's just a nice little touch, I think, is pretty nice. Yeah, sorry, new object. Maybe I should have warned folks about if you actually Google pictures of rat kings, you get a lot of like these old dried up desiccated rats that are tied together in a big ball, which is kind of gross. New object. I think Aliens RL already exists. I believe it's by Cornel Kashilevitz, the guy who made Doom RL. He also made Aliens RL. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was awesome. That was really, really rad. Watching the rats slowly take over the level. You gotta be careful about them. They will sneak up on you. But hey, everybody, thanks for playing. That was rad. That was really some folks having some fun there. So I want to kind of maybe um, play play the or work on the intermission screen a bit. Nixrod. So rat kings aren't real per se, but they're definitely like a wives' tale or a myth. Um, they don't actually really form in real life. But this my little RL isn't real life, so I wanted to have something kind of crazy. Um, Evrim, I have not tried Cogmind yet. I hear it's pretty good, but I've not tried it. I need to be better about playing more RLs. Maybe I should just stream myself playing an RL every once in a while. Okay, so this is the intermission scene. Um, so what happens is when when a player exits the level, it starts a countdown clock. When that countdown clock finishes, it fires off an event to do the level transition, and then the game or the start intermission, right? So the game captures the start intermission, and it will temporarily unparent the level scene, and then it will put the intermission scene in its place, which runs for a set number of turns, and then when the intermission scene finishes, it will fire off a start level scene. So then the opposite happens: is the intermission scene gets removed, and then we put the level scene back into the scene hierarchy, and things just go. Um, well, because Dr. Kegel, they're not really Skaven per se. They're just in my mind, they're just really big rats. Like the rats, like imagine the rat like the size of like a 20-pound dog. In the RL, that's what I imagine they are. They're kind of these really big, nasty rats, and they're not big enough to take on a person. But when there's enough of them, yeah, they will definitely go after it. Because the Skaven from Warhammer are definitely they're definitely like a bipedal like hominid with fairly high level of intelligence, which is not what my little rats are. Um, yeah, yeah, I like the rat mechanic too. That was one of the more fun things I think I've implemented. Um, so let's push towards getting this the kind of the little system thing going, and so how to do this? How to do this? So what happens is by the time so the level scene we have a knit scene, and let me see, init scene. Yeah, so we push this event, and I'm pretty sure we call it knit scene right after we push the event, and the event doesn't actually get processed till the next tick or the next the next tick of the game loop. So we actually know what the next level should look like. Um, so maybe there's some stuff we can pull out of there. Because basically the dungeon generator gives us back the level, the entities, and then the start area for the players, which we use to place the players and keep monsters out of to begin with. Um, I guess. I guess. I mean, generically, the there's an info object that it just yeah. So I have this info object that right now just tracks the level, but I could do some other stuff with that, I suppose. New option says my team at work needs to stop eating lunch during lunch break RL. No, like having team lunch is actually a really good morale thing. I always really enjoyed having my team lunches at Microsoft. It was just nice just to talk to folks on like my sister teams and on teams that weren't even related to me, just to kind of get a good picture of like what they were working on, and just talk about just like be a person for a while. Um, uh, yeah, so let's also look at if you look at statuses. I'm trying to think of how to do this. Like I want to generate like a bunch of low level enemies and like mid level enemies and high level enemies, and I want to basically when we start the intermission say you're getting blah blah blah. Let me just fake it real quick. So let's go to our intermission scene, and yeah, so I just draw text here. Um, I can just draw more text, right? I can draw text all day. Um, okay. So let's say this is at, I guess, console height 4. This is console height 6, 4. And then this is going to be width minus 2 minus ln of kobolds. Kobolds. So if I were to debug this, hit G, kobolds level 1. Wait, why was that above? What did I goof? Oh, why is it? It's 6/2? No, it should be 6. There we go. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to show statistics. That might be interesting. So I want to show something like, let's do. See where that. Let me see where that lands. And then kobolds 8, 7. Be something like hyper and sword wielding. I'm trying to communicate basically before we start a level what we're getting ourselves into, more or less. 0, 1, 2, more or less. What did I? So I guess I goofed there that I didn't increment that bug. Oh yeah, and I guess I cranked this way down too. Intermission self that timer. Yeah, where did I change that? A level scene, intermission, maybe in game scene, intermission scene, timer. Oh yeah, if args debug timer 1. Yeah, there we go. So basically, I want to have a list of creatures and modifiers, and then every time we go to a new level, it kind of displays those modifiers for each creature, which I guess I could stuff back into that info object, which would be fine. Um, um, so maybe something like, let me look at kobold, and I'm just going to create a new drop table to stuff them into. Just duplicate this, and I'm just going to create a new bucket, because my drop tables are just buckets, these monster buckets, so I'm going to call them say uncommon enemy 5, and then rat will do common enemy doesn't matter 5, and then in my dungeon generator yeah, hyper apocalypse. Yeah. So trying to throw these, I mean, it's not always going to put stuff on them, but I like to have some variety and also have good and bad things as well. Yeah, it could be cool to have like vampiric kobolds or, you know, any number of weird things, right? Um, um, so what I want to do is I want to grab, so uncommon monster class equals registry.get uncommon monster. So I'm somewhat confident that's what I called it. Kobold. Uncommon enemy, I think. Let's just call it uncommon monster. And it's like a rat. Common monster. Okay. And then in our dungeon generation, we have our uncommon monster class is register get monster, uncommon monster. And then our common monster class is just common monster. And then let's just say I can just create. Let's see. Let me take a look at my drop table. So I think I can create. I create them on the fly. So I can just say How about at static method def clear category? And so then this registered categories at category is equal to just an empty list, I believe is how this works. Are they? Actually, I could just set it to none because we do the none check here. I think that will work. So then what we can do is in our dungeon generator, we can quickly build out a new table real quick for registry.register. My goodness. Even though it says class, it's kind of a misnomer, right? Because this thing, yeah, it's really just an object. It doesn't really have to be a class. Let me, let's call it item factor. There we go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to shove these classes in there. Registry register, and it's going to be uncommon monster class, and I think it takes what? It's the item, the category, and then just the weights. So the category is monster drop table, and then then this is, say, so like 3, and then duplicate this, and then I want to add the common monster class to monster drop table with a frequency of 5. So there's a 5 and 8 chance to get a common, maybe 6. There's a 6 and 9 chance, so like, yeah, so 2/3 should be 5 and 3 is fine. So then, yeah, so we should be able to say the monster class is just get monster underscore drop table, and that should still work the same. I think that should work. And then our info object, I need to report this back, right? So info, I think this, actually scene info. I think if, yeah, I can just scene info at enemies is equal to just a tuple of uncommon monster class and common monster class right now. I'd also want to know what like what random perks we're getting. Maybe I should do that for the. So in the statuses, I can build out statuses and add those to a drop table, and then pull the drop table here as well. Let's just make sure this works. Yeah. Well, tons of rats. The proportion might be wrong there. No, there's more kobolds there. It's just the RNG makes life difficult sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, Blue Video, also feel free to jump in anytime I'm debugging. That's totally fine. But I'm probably going to close it out pretty quick too. Just be forewarned. Yeah, so this is working out okay. And then, so then in the level scene, so there's a self.info. So in the intermission scene, the scene info, yeah, there we go. So we'll say info is equal to this instances object scene root info. That's what we want. Okay. And then here, this can just be info at level. And so for now, I can just say for monster class in info at enemies, I think is what I call it, enemies. Dungeon generator, yeah. How about let's just say I comma monster class in enumerate of info at enemies. There we go. And I want to let's move this up here, and I want to say something like self.console.draw stir 8 x and the y plus I, and this should be monster class dot name. I think that should get us an approximate start. Nope, gives us a crash. What does it? Oh, I'm a dummy. Monster class dot name. Yeah, kobold and rat. Cool. So now we need to figure out how to do statuses. So in the dungeon generator, so we actually should so we should maybe we should instead push in a so how about this is equal to a list, and then scene enemies that equals that, Control D, and then something like this, something like this. And we're just going to do a dot append, and I have multiple cursors there for some odd reason. Yeah, PyCharm's multi-cursor isn't as nice as Sublime Text, but it works well enough in a pinch. So we're going to append monster class, and right now just an empty list of attributes, I guess. Because basically these should be statuses. These should be statuses, right? These should be a list of. There we go. So let's just again to get things going, let's just hand code this stuff, and then we can add the randomization stuff later. So we can say uncommon monster statuses equals a sequence. Let's just say let's go to statuses. Haste is fine. Yeah, so from statuses import haste status, and down here uncommon monster status is a sequence of haste status dot haste status. Do they have a name? Should they have names? Should statuses have names? Self.name is equal to self.class.name is a quick and dirty way of doing that. And then I'm also not calling the super init owner. blind status and sleep status. Super.net owner. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that sets the owner and that sets the name, but we also want to say something like self.name is equal to blind, and self.name is equal to haste, and self.name is equal to, say, sleep. There we go. And then in the dungeon generator, we have this thing, monster haste statuses. So then mon equals this, and then for status in we don't know if it's actually a common or uncommon monster here. I guess we can just do a quick check. It's dirty, but we can make it better. So if monster class in uncommon monster class, do a thing, else do the other thing. And this is status equals, or for status in uncommon monster statuses, status is, I think that's an imported, no, I'm not importing that name, good, okay. Status equals, no, it needs to be for status in monster statuses, s equals status, and that needs to take in the mon, and then mon dot add status s. I think they all at least should have default. They all should at least, yeah, just take an owner as at a minimum, and the haste status you can add more stuff to it. Hey, C_R_0. Thanks for popping in. Got about 10 minutes left on this stream. Hopefully I can make this work in 10 minutes. I think I can. And then let's do the same thing down here. So for status in common monster statuses, and then I need to make that a thing as well, wherever all that jazz lives. Yeah, so let's duplicate that, and let's say common monster statuses is nothing, because we should also test this case as well. There we go. And we want to append the uncommon monster class and then the uncommon monster statuses, and the same thing here. Common monster statuses, and we want to report this back in the intermission screen is what we want to do. Pardon me. Just say line equals or line offset equals 0, 6 plus line offset. Don't need to enumerate this anymore. That was just a quick and dirty thing. Hear that. Cool. So plus so for monster class in there, so for monster class, comma monster statuses, just unpacking this tuple. We're going to draw the class, and then for status in monster statuses, we're going to draw those as well. Here, line offset plus equals 1, and then here we just want to print out status dot name, because we gave all the statuses names. We also want to do maybe maybe indent it by 2, and then here line offset plus equals 1. And then line offset plus equals 1, just to give us a gap in between the monsters. Let's see if this works. Yeah, no, I spend, up to 10 hours a day. It doesn't bother me at all. Any exception? What is the exception I'm getting? Type not iterable. Monster class. Oh, yeah. Oh, nope. So this one needs to be an in. This one needs to be an is. There we go. Cool. So if I hit G, what's happening now? Console. Paste status has no attribute name. Oh, because it's a yes. So what we need to do is this is an instance level attribute, and we need to make it a name equals none, and then status.name, or is it, can do class? I think that's the thing I can do, maybe. Yeah, is that weird? Blind status. The name is blind. Haste status. Name is haste, and sleep status. So yeah, because these aren't instance level variables. Debug. G. Yeah, cool. And then are the kobolds actually hasted? Is the question? Yeah, they are. Nice. Cool. Yeah. So unfortunately, it only lasts a short time. But I'm thinking about also expanding the status system to also include like statuses will maybe they only turn on in certain conditions or they turn off in certain conditions. So for example, like they might always be hyper, or they always might have haste, or they might have haste until they get hit, and then give different names for it. Yeah, that may work. But I think we're at the 5 minutes left mark. So why don't we just play for a little bit? Let me. I think it's an okay place to leave it for now. I guess let me go ahead and just, for the time being in the dungeon generator, let's not have all the kobolds always be hasted. We can just comment that out for the time being. Okay, and yeah, let's just play. Let's just have some fun. I haven't got to play yet today, and I've been kind of want to. Thank you for the kind words, CR0. Let's just do a Python app.py and let's play. Yeah, so if this is your first time to the stream, welcome. This is the game. On the left is a listing of all the entities that are in the player's vision. On the right here is a listing of all the players currently in the game. Up here is the map. And down here is a console that gives you information about what is happening. So something cries its last means something has died, but it's outside the player's vision. Yeah, feel free to join us. If you aren't actually playing, you can still cheer on other players. You can type in the cheer command, cheer at Nixrod, and that effectively will apply the haste status effect to Nixrod. So if you don't want to play, or if you feel too nervous, you can go ahead and cheer us on while we play. But feel free to join in. Like, there's no real right or wrong way to play. We're mostly just goofing. My players usually try to break my poor little game. which is appreciated. It helps make it nice and solid. Yeah, so when I get closer to the kobolds, they should aggro, and they will approach me. And since Dr. Kegel has a battle axe, I'm just going to run away because he will probably kill everybody if we're not careful. Or they're going to follow me. Yeah, there's a dagger. I can at least equip something to protect myself with. If you are a subscriber, you get the special blue name, and you also get a piece of starting equipment, which can be pretty handy. But yeah, just having a simple dagger is enough to make me way more lethal. Interesting. There we go. Ooh, I almost blinded that kobold. That would have been sweet. And I think I can. I think I can. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I counterattacked them, and they are hurt enough to run away. So that's nice. Oh no! I accidentally drank the blinding potion. Oh well. I can just move through the fog of war until I get back into somebody's sight. And I think I still counterattack, which I guess makes sense when I'm blinded. That's okay. Yeah, I guess as long as I'm with other people, I'm okay. Oh, there we go. I think I can see again, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Nope. I cannot see. I'm just wandering in the dark. Great. um, yeah. Oh no, Nick's rod! You're getting surrounded by rat babies. Oh. Oh, there's a rat king in here. Oh my goodness. Oh no! Oh no! Yikes. There's a sleepy kobold in here. Oh, I guess at Gusano already found the exit. I just not been paying attention. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. The rats have my number. Yeah, the rat kings are nasty. They can do a ton of damage if you're not careful. Yeah, I guess I can cheer on folks. Yep, not yet, not yet. Let me go to studio mode because I'm a goober. Pardon me. Nice. So hey, I'm Joshua. This has been Lunch Break Roguelike. This is a week daily stream where I spend an hour a day working on this project. I think this will be the last week of the Lunch Break Roguelike, and then I will move on to another Twitch playable game that I'll build here live on Twitch. So feel free to check that out. Hopefully, it'll be a lot of fun. This one has been a lot of fun. Um, yeah. So I think this week we're gonna try to finish up the randomized like statuses and stuff and randomized selection of enemies for each level. I think that'll be cool. Yeah, so you can follow me here on Twitch at Joshua Skelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Skelly to see what I'm up to. I also have a video game called Delver, which I do my dev streams for that on Sunday. Um, oh, I'm a Twitch affiliate. That's a thing. You can subscribe. I consider it like a tip jar. I'm not going to get rich off subscriptions, but it is a good way for folks to show their interest. So if you find me entertaining or informative, or you just want to see me make more weird stuff like this, please feel free to subscribe all month long. I believe from September 6th through October, the first week of October. Twitch is running a promotion called September. So if you, so basically the first month of your subscription to me will be half price, and I still get the same amount, which is pretty rad. So if you have been considering pulling the trigger on giving me a little tip, it's half off right now. So go ahead and do that. And I have 12 beautiful, talented, great smelling subscribers. And in no particular order, they are Mrs. Beefy 1111, New Obj, Neil Slichter, Nofield, SG Bozzy, Fat Bluestone, Nixrod, A Literal Train, Smith, Dr. Kegel, Glass Casket TV, and Codrake. Thank you so much for supporting me and the things that I do. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see ya, I don't know, tomorrow, same time, same place. All right. And I'll flip this over so you folks can play. I'm just waiting on OBS to do its thing. But yeah, let me flip that over. I'll throw on some chip tunes if we can play for a bit. Have a good rest of your day, folks. Hey folks, I think this is as good a place as any to call it. So thank you for hanging around to the very end. Have a good day. Bye.